Hello and welcome to Shop Talk with Dan the Man. Today's video we're going to discuss 5 power tools that I think a beginner should get right away to start their shop. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dan Shannon. I enjoy woodworking as a hobby and being out in the shop. On this channel, dive deep into my shop as we explore tools and tool reviews, as well as chatting about everything related to woodworking. If this grabs you by the tool belt, please subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. Shop Talk with Dan the Man. If you're new here, welcome. If you've already subscribed, thanks for coming back. If you'd like to subscribe, click on that link below and be part of the Talk Shop family. So let's dive in. So I've taken 5 of the most important power tools, in my opinion, for a shop to start off. So a shop can be overwhelming when you're first starting off. What should you buy? What brand should you buy, and kind of, how you unpack all that to start off your shop. Well, for me, you can see I have a lot of tools behind me. Those were bought over time, but I had to start off with some simple power tools. And in this case, I started off with 2 drills. So the first drill is a full-out regular drill, drill pilot holes, 4 screws. It's your kind of standard drill, if you will. You got 2 settings. I do have a full review on this product on my channel, so if you want to check that out, you can as well. And then this drill here is an impact driver. This has 3 different speeds for adjustments. You can take a big leg bolt and sink it into a 4x4. Super fast and super easy with this driver, and whereas this drill is more made for, like I said, drilling pre-holes for pilot holes for screws, or sinking screws in. So at the end of the day, both in my shop are used. This not as much as my impact driver, just because of the power difference. I can sink screws a lot faster with this. However, there's times where you need more of a gentle hand, and you can adjust the different settings on here for your torque difference. The chuck on the front, you can turn that, and I guess they call it a clutch on the front of this. You can adjust it to the different speeds. So it goes up to 22 and then full out drill. So how that works is you just turn it to the number, and it'll back out the clutch inside. So once you get to the certain tension on the screw, it'll automatically make like a stripping noise, meaning it stopped the power. So a lot of things that you build, especially with pine, this is a great tool to use so it doesn't crack the wood. You can change the torque on the drill itself, whereas this one is a powerhouse. Once you start in with the screw, it'll bury it right to the next board. Like it's very, very strong. It might not look like that for the stature of it, but it's a very powerful tool, and I do use it all the time. So these 2 are the first tool that I would recommend, a combo drill set, your regular drill, and then a impact driver. So both have their place in a shop. Both are tools that I use all the time. And to start off with your shop, I would definitely recommend these 2 drills as part of the set. So this is tool number 1, a combo drill set for your shop. So let's jump into tool number 2. Okay, so tool number 2 out of the 5 tools that I thought would be great for a beginner starting off their shop is a sander. So a lot of projects, once you build them, you're going to have rough edges, rough surface, and what better to take all that roughness off your wood than a sander. This is an orbital sander, so it moves in different directions. I do have a review on this exact tool on my channel, so you can check that out. This is battery powered. You can get corded sanders, so use it without any cords. So when you're using, say you got a bigger surface, a coffee table for example, sometimes the cords will get in the way, so it's nice just to have you know, no cords. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's corded or cordless, just the fact that you have a sander to take down the rough edges on your project. So that'd be tool number 2. That is motorized power tool. Also at the same time, none of these are in order. All 5 of these tools, I didn't go from greatest to least. I just basically am talking about 5 different types of tools that are powered that I use on a regular basis in my shop when you're starting off. So that's kind of it for the sander. You can apply different types of sandpaper, different grits, but I have that all in my tool review, so you just go on my channel and you can find the information out for this. So let's dive into the 3rd tool I would recommend for your shop. So this is the 3rd tool that I would recommend starting off with your shop. Now, this is a sliding miter saw. And what that means is there's an arm here and you can get a better width cut on boards, whereas a fixed miter saw would be no arm and just a chop saw. So it just up and down for your saw. So you just pull your pin out on your saw and then you just have the up and down action and that's it. So you have your hinge point and then just your straight cut. Whereas this has an arm on it, so I can do a wider cut on this saw. So I did upgrade to this sliding miter, but originally I just had a Delta chop saw, they refer to it as, and that does all your miter gauges as well. Not to the level that this does. You can do up to a 45. So you just turn your blade to a 45 and just give your 2x4 if you're cutting that a chop to give your different degrees, different miters on that saw. But this thing does so much. It's crazy what this saw will do. Like I said, I didn't have this at first. I just had a regular chop saw, and then I upgraded to the sliding miter saw. So I would say just get a regular chop saw, you know, starting off. If this is on sale, I would definitely recommend, if the price isn't a huge jump between your basic miter saw and the sliding miter, I would definitely upgrade. You'll appreciate it later on. Even if you don't have the skill set attached to it yet, you will learn different things you can do on this sliding miter saw. So this, I also have a review on this saw from start to finish, what it can do, the different cuts it can do. So check that out on my channel as well. But yeah, definitely a game changer for any project you're doing around your house or inside your shop. You can get all the different angles, different degrees, pitches, everything that you're looking for can be done with this tool for cuts. It's an incredible saw. And they also call it a crosscut saw because it always cuts with the grain the opposite way. So normally a table saw is a rip saw most of the time, so it's made for ripping boards. You can do crosscut, but this is primarily used for crosscut, not ripping boards. But you can do that, but it's recommended just for doing the crosscut. So this is tool number 3, so let's jump into tool number 4. Okay, so this is tool number 4. This is a circular saw. Now, a lot of times or at least myself, I didn't think of a circular saw as really that good of a tool. I didn't think there'd be much use for it, but I was definitely wrong on the circular saw and what you can do with it. I've done so much work. This machine has run for hours at a time. I built my woodshed with it because all you need is a straight edge, and I'm not going to lug out my sliding miter saw all the way across the property, because then I got to find a plug for it. And you know, it is very accurate for cuts, but this circular saw, for convenience, battery powered. You can get cordless ones, or corded ones rather. This is a cordless one. And yeah, it just cuts really any type of board. If you cut a sheet of plywood, you can get a straight edge, clamp it down, and then do your cut line, or do a chalk mark and then rip it that way. It's so universal. They do have different types of circular saws out now, and depending on what you're cutting, the purpose of what you're doing with the tool, you know, that depends on which tool you buy. This is an older model of this circular saw. You can get more higher powered ones now, and also the ergonomics on this one is set up this way, but the newer ones, depending on the type of saw, they have the handle in the back. I think that's called a worm saw, and it's made more for pushing through sheets of plywood, tongue and groove, different types of material like that, whereas this, you can cut 2x4s, 2x6s, and sheets of plywood. But like I said, you know, every tool has its purpose, and it's made a certain way to perform certain tasks. But yeah, hands down, you can change the angle. The bottom plate will pivot, so you can change your angle of your cut. If you want to do like a 45, you would change the bottom plate and then rip it, and it would give you that 45 cut. So out on the job, this is an ideal tool around the yard. In the house, when I've done projects, instead of dragging my sliding miter into the house, I had this circular saw to rely on to get my cuts done. So yeah, hands down, definitely part of my startup package for tools, for power tools. And you know, every tool has its spot. Like I said, drills have their place, circular saw, sliding miter saw, like all these tools have their pros and cons and placement in the tool lineup. But yeah, it's just 5 tools that me personally would vouch for your starting off your shop. So let's jump into the final 5th tool that I would recommend for your shop. So let's dive into that. So the 5th and final tool is the table saw. Now the table saw is the type of tool, there's many different products out there, anywhere from low quality right up to the Saw Stop, which is a high-end tool that costs quite a bit of money. So starting off, looking at all the different tools, brands, everything else, you can look at these types of tools and think, oh, well, what's the difference between a $200 table saw and a $6,000 table saw? Well, there is a big difference between the two, but what would be best for your particular needs and your shop? Well, at the end of the day, I would recommend going online, doing some research, and finding out what type of tool would suit your situation best. Now for me, this is a Ridgid Pro Grade construction saw, so it's not a cabinet saw. It has a stand with it. It's not their low-end table saw that you can buy, so it's kind of right in the middle. And I really like this saw. It has great performance. It's got enough RPM to rip boards. I just did a whole bunch recently. I was ripping the tongue and groove off some boards to reuse them, so this cut super well for that. The fence is pretty accurate. It's not as accurate at times, but I find if you push on the end here and it kind of lines it up and then you lock it in place, But sometimes it'll wander a little bit, so you do have to keep an eye on that. So that's kind of the only gripe I have with this saw. And I also bought a really good blade for it. It has a Freud blade on it. So the original one that came with it wasn't the greatest. And that goes for all your tools, a sliding miter saw, table saw, any type of blade, a circular saw that I have. You need good quality blades to run your machines. Don't buy cheap blades, buy something that's decent. And maybe we'll cover that in another episode, the different types of blades that you can buy and the quality and why they cost the way they do. The table saw for me is definitely a tool that I need in my shop. I did a lot of my projects, pretty much everything in here that I built, my shelves, my kids' projects. I just did a plant stand for my wife. All this is on my channel that you can watch these videos. And for ripping boards, so my plant stand, I had to have the legs a certain width, and I just set my fence, and then I could just run my boards through freely and get the exact measurement I wanted out of a quite wide board. So you can take a circular saw and rip the same type of length or width rather, but the issue is once you get into a thinner board to rip it, the bottom plate on a circular saw is quite wide, so it can't exactly stay. It's not safe is basically what I'm trying to say. So a table saw is way safer to perform the same type of cut. Starting off in your shop can be overwhelming, and I just wanted to show 5 tools that would be a great starting point for your shop. And of course you can see behind me I have a bandsaw, a scroll saw, and to my right there's other tools that I have, jigsaws, the list goes on. But to build a strong foundation, I think starting off, you need a handful of tools just to get you up and going. And these would be the 5 tools, power tools, that I would recommend, in the tool lineup. So brand, you probably noticed that all my tools that I had today were all Ridgid for brand. And the reason why I go with Ridgid, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, is they have the lifetime service agreement. So you just register online, you have 90 days, and you're covered for life. Same with their batteries. I don't know of another company that covers their batteries, but Ridgid does. You just fill out the warranty online, get the serial number, and send it off. And it's great because we all know batteries don't last that long, and it's great to have a warranty that will follow up and make sure that you're running your tool for the rest of your life. So I really enjoy that about Ridgid. I do have other brands that I use. You can see there's a Mastercraft here. So I'm not anti other brands. I appreciate Ridgid's warranty, and any type of tool that I buy usually is Ridgid when I can, just because of that service agreement. So thanks for watching today's video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click on that subscribe button, be part of the Shop Talk family. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you do have a reminder every time I come out with new videos. And once again, I appreciate you watching my channel, and it means a lot. And thanks a lot for the support throughout this year. Next month will be a full year since I started my channel, and it's just great to see more viewers watching my videos. So thanks again. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, maybe give me some options as far as your top 5 tools that you would recommend for people to buy starting off. Maybe there's a tool that I missed. So I just appreciate that, and have yourself a great day. And don't forget to check out this video here.